Welcome to the Old Bull and Young Calf Boston Sports Podcast. A bit of a later game, but we're up and we're ready. And my dad doesn't know the title of the podcast, Dad, but I'll let you take a guess. It's what the Celtics need to do tonight to finish this series. What do you do, Dad, when you need to finish them?
You sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg. That's in the
Sweep the
title.
leg.
That's what the Celtics need to do tonight. They're back at home. A lot of excitement here, Dad. How do you feel going into this game?
I feel excellent. Just Jaylen Brown's playing, right?
Jaylen Brown is playing as of like 7:02. They announced he was playing.
Excellent. Yeah. So we get another referee crew that's a little heavier on the whistles. Tony Brothers, not a big Tatum fan. He doesn't like Tatum, but this referee's crew is similar to the last. They're going to let him play a little, but they're going to blow a lot of whistles. So, that's the kind of game we want. That's fine. We'll go to the free throw line 40 times. We'll take that kind of game any day of the week against a team like this.
Yep, 100%. So, I took a look at it, and Tony Brothers, the last game that he refed was the Bucks versus Pacers game. That was the Pacers beating the Bucks by 26 points. The Pacers put up 129 points. That series has been a lot less physical. It looks like the Pacers average about 19 fouls per game this postseason. They were called for 16 in that game, and the Bucks have been getting about 18, and they were called for 18. So Brothers seems to not be in any sort of extreme there. And sadly, this is what we're doing right now because that's what NBA's turned into. It's football. You've heard my dad talk about it. I'm sure you've heard other analysts talk about it, but it's very football-esque right now. So it's about what referee crew are we going to get? Are they going to control the game, or are they going to let the game get out of hand? So that's where we're at now. You have the Boston Celtics, who are the second least personal fouling team in the NBA playoffs. Then you have the other end of the spectrum with the Magic and Pistons almost tied at 22 personal fouls a game. Very physical teams. So here we go. We're at home. My dad and I talked about doing some sort of keys to the game and making metrics and visuals for it. We won't be able to do that today, but I think my key to the game is going to be the bench. They're back in their comfort zone. They're in their safe space. They got the crowd to feed off of. What do we see from Pritchard, Hauser, and Cornette, right? On the road, I would have to see, but I mean, in total, I don't think they've combined for more than a dozen points. And I think that's probably one of my biggest concerns is what kind of bench do we see? And Dad, don't be afraid to turn off your camera and just chat. It's okay. Drive safely.
No,
okay.
I'm not driving. No.
Oh, you're in the passenger seat. Excellent.
Yeah, yeah, she's my chauffeur. Hottest chauffeur in the world. But anyway, my key to the game is Porzingis. Get away from the post-ups and stick with the pick and rolls, roll into the basket for the dunks. And if you get wide open threes, he finally hit 2 last game, get off the snide, stick with that. Get away from the post-up game because, it might benefit him this game with this referee crew, but those Orlando guys, they know how to play it. They basically, as soon as Porzingis turns around and takes his little mid-range jump shot, they just move him a couple inches back with their chest, and the referees just haven't been calling it this series, and it throws his shot off just a hair. So Porzingis is such a big factor, and we just really need him to roll to the hoop like he did last game, take open threes and nail them when he gets them, and be that defensive presence around the rim, and hopefully not get abused by Wagner. Horford did a great job on him last game, so look for more of that also on Wagner because he's unstoppable when he gets within 8 feet of the rim, that guy.
No, he's absolutely automatic, and I completely think you're totally right. And the other question is, right, other side of the spectrum, what kind of a bench do we get from the Magic? I mean, those first 2 games, they were basically invisible, just like the Celtics bench was in Orlando, right? Wendell Carter Jr., I guess he had a good second game. He did put up 16 points, and he is actually a starter. But, their bench in that first game put up a total of really probably 11 points.
That's great. Great point.
Yeah. And then in the next game, they put up in Boston, looks like they put up about 16 points.
Okay.
And from,
That, I mean,
yeah, that's
that,
good.
that'd be in our favor. Absolutely. So that's a great point, Matt. And, just if they can just get out to like something close to a 20-point lead, this team will wilt and go away, especially down 3-1 on the road. If it can just get to like close to a 20-point lead in the second quarter, it'll be done. Those guys, they'll start forcing 3-pointers, which they're terrible in three, as we've seen this series. We just we can't we got to get out of this habit of getting these 8-9 point leads where we give it right back to them. Like, it's insane. We had about 7 of those situations last game where we had an 8 or 9 point lead, and within 2 minutes it was gone or down to like 3. we
Yeah.
gotta we gotta throw them on the ground, put our foot on their throat, and keep them there. That's what we
Yep.
need to do.
And I think the big story is going to be the 3-point ball, right? If we can get that to fall, the game's different. That first game, we beat them by 17. I think for the
Oh
most part, outside of that first half, that first game was handily won by the Boston Celtics. Then we go and we put up
yeah,
25% from three. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 29%, 33%. And then the last game, another 32%. Just generally below average. Multiple guys going over completely from three. If we hit our threes, we really want to run away with this. This team, like Orlando, is the worst
oh
offensive
yeah,
team in the playoffs right now. They have a
yeah,
horrible half court offense. Getting a lead on these guys, especially a big lead, right? Right, 20 points is insurmountable for their offense and what they generate points wise. So, like you said, completely agree.
yeah.
Big start. I don't know. I'd have to look at the metrics to see if the 8:30 games would benefit us or not. But it's going to be interesting to see what Celtics show up tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Need the car run, baby. You just leave it. I'll stay out here. Thank you. So, no Holiday. Right? It'd be nice if he kind of. I mean, Derek White's always saving us, right? In the second half, fourth quarter. It'd be nice if he got off to a fast start. He didn't. He didn't have any fast starts in Orlando, but typical Derek White. He turns it on late when the money's on the line. I'd love to see Derek White get off to a. Try to get him the ball. For threes, open threes. Design a lot of plays to get him. Tatum, please no step back, sideways 3-pointers. Just do what you're doing. Crashing the net, getting all those free throws. It's just about getting them to just steal their soul. And they're not going to come back, like you said. They're the worst offensive team in the league in the rest of the playoffs, Matt. They're the second best defensive team. And when the referees let them get away with a lot of body contact, that's the only thing that keeps them in the game. We just need to not get rattled, have someone get hot, stay with them, and we should be, getting ready to rest for, what's likely New York.
Oh, so we have Lana. Lana, I can't show your message, but I appreciate you. I'm sure you're excited for this game. Lana SD, I can't make it appear, but 5 minutes away from hopefully a major closeout game, right? Derek White getting a good start would be fantastic. He started off the series like that first quarter in the first game. I think he had like 9 points.
Yeah.
Super
Yep.
hot. Jaylen Brown. What kind of Jaylen Brown are we going to see? He's going to have his head a bit more in the game.
Yeah.
I think these guys have to look at the rest of the league and say, it's our time to put an end to this, get our rest in, and move on from this team. I mean, they're giving you you should not sleep on this Magic team. They are so annoying. Every game is a detriment to, possibly your championship hopes. The Thunder are now good and resting. The Cavs are now good and resting. Celtics have to be following that. And really it does suck that the Magic ended up losing to the Hawks, because that would have been amazing to send the Magic over to Cleveland, because they got a complete bye. That was, an embarrassment from the Miami Heat. Of course, rest is important in the NBA, fresh legs, right? I don't know, Dad, how important do you think competition is in the first round? Like, do you think it matters at all? Getting a cakewalk? Do you think that there's any chance of that being a detriment for those two teams who pretty much were able to sleepwalk through the first round?
It's not a factor as long as you don't, knock on wood, get injuries. Let's say you have to go a couple extra games. If you are healthy, it's not going to factor, because the Celtics did a great job of load managing through the season. They just plenty of rest for their top guys. So that's not a factor. What's a factor is when you play extra games and you get a major injury, even a medium injury, or the small injuries that just prohibit a guy from being full speed. It's just the reason why you want these games over with. So, and one thing I would like to get out to an early lead, Matt, for another reason. Hauser, he hits two freaking threes to start the game. I'm like, here we go. Hauser's back, the playoff Hauser from last year, who was a big part of that playoff run. And then again, he just disappeared. If we can get a first half lead of double digits and Hauser struggles, give Scheiman a chance. Light a fire under Hauser's butt because, I mean, it's just, there's no excuse for him. Luke Cornett, I get why he's struggling. He's never been in the rotation for the Celtics in the playoffs. This is his first year he's been a regular guy in the rotation, his first year in the playoffs as a regular rotation player. So he looks like a deer in headlights right now. I get it. But Pritchard, Hauser, there's no excuse for those two guys. They were major contributors last year in the playoffs. The spotlight should not be too big for them. Pritchard, I'm not crazy about either, but they're just swallowing that guy up, not letting him take his three-pointers. Hauser, there's no excuse. If he doesn't look like Sam Hauser tonight, give Scheiman a chance.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that's tough with this Orlando team is they take you off your spot on the 3-point line so much with how physical they are, right? So I think what's one of the things Hauser's probably struggling with is he can't even get open, right? He's getting grabbed, he's getting pulled. So, that's difficult there. Like if you can't generate your own shot, you're not really getting a shot against this team. It's miserable out there because like you're getting guarded. And this is one of the things we talk about. You're getting guarded is if you have the ball, even when you don't have the ball. Right.
Yeah.
Like it's I think something that's really kind of bush league from the NBA and the refs, right? They're letting these guys, treat everybody like they have a puck, as kind of a hockey reference, and they're getting manhandled. And Hauser definitely is one of those guys on the offensive end who just becomes invisible when he's playing on the offensive end. It's like he's not on the court. And hopefully it spark plugs. But I don't know if he's going to get opportunities to get shots. One thing I will bring up, and I think it's kind of a kudos. I know we were coming down on Tatum for the mid range and stuff like that. But did you know only one other player has taken more mid range shots than Tatum this postseason, and that's Shai Gilgeous. But no other player is shooting at remotely as high of percentage. So Tatum's mid range is over 52%. The next closest is Banchero at 36%. So Tatum has been, pretty much on fire. And my question, I wonder how much of his wrist injury has actually benefited him because his shot almost has improved, right? In a weird way, right? It's kind of strange.
Okay. It's probably harder to shoot from further away. You got to put a little more into it, But yeah, man, you're right. Guys like Hauser, they're annihilated because they can't get open. Remember that video clip I sent you? That guy on ESPN, he stole my take. He's like, it's football out there, all over the league. And the frustrating thing is, everyone's saying they like it because the games are closer and it's tougher competition, and they're bumping and bumping. I'm like, okay, so I guess we like ugly basketball now. Like, so why don't you build your team around like that then? Just get a bunch of grinders who do nothing but foul and body people and just slam everyone around. Like, I'm so frustrated by it, but that's the way they're gonna call it. We gotta be physical back. We gotta test the boundaries, make the refs call them on us too, and try to get away with doing a little bit of hacking, holding, body bumping when it's not necessary.
Yeah, and really, we're going in. I think maybe 2 or 3 guys deep in our bench every game. Right, that's pretty much all we've done. The Magic have been like 5, 6 guys deep on their bench some games because they're just fouling so much. They just have these long wings that they're throwing out there and saying pretty much go hard foul. I think I read somewhere that people are saying, there was it's really kind of tongue in cheek, but what's the coach's name for Orlando? Do you know off the top of your head?
I forget.
But they're like, he must have some sort of New Orleans Saints bounty system because it's just crazy how physical he encourages his players to be. And that's really been everywhere. Like the refs are completely losing control of these games. I mean, I watched a bit of the Warriors Rockets game. That was insane, right? Incredibly physical in a bad way. And, I watched the Knicks Pistons games. It's not the basketball I'm used to. I think I think of like teams that are more finesse, and I'm like, these teams are kind of screwed. Like if you don't have bangers, if you don't have guys who are going to go out there and, kind of toe that line of offensive defensive foul, then you're in trouble because it is
Yeah.
a dogfight.
Yeah. So, but this referee crew, we should see a tighter whistle tonight, which should benefit us. And hey, number one, as always, most important thing, no injuries. Number two, get the damn win, get the heck out of this season, out of this series, and hopefully we go up against the Knicks because they're soft as hell. It's gonna be a completely different series the next game because they're just completely different team than Detroit or Orlando. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and the only team that fouls more than Orlando is the Pistons. So the one thing I
Yeah.
will say about the Pistons is they kind of suck, like really
Yeah.
bad. Their offense is actually worse than Orlando's, and they don't have like I feel like Orlando has two Cade Cunninghams, right? They
Yeah.
have Bankero and Wagner, and really with Detroit you just have Cade Cunningham. Then you have like Tim Hardaway Jr. getting starter minutes on that
Yeah.
team, and he sucks. Tobias
Beasley,
Harris,
Tom, Cole. Yeah.
yeah. So if we get the Pistons, I'm not mad about it. But either way, we want the Pistons to win tonight. Looks like they're up by 2 right now. The
Good.
Bucks, I know my dad made a great point. It's a very counterintuitive, but we want the Bucks to get out of this as soon as possible. We want the Pacers to go into the Cavaliers fresh and uninjured. Right now, it's tied up with 10 seconds to go. It looks like the Bucks
In the
have the
game?
ball. Yeah, 10 seconds to
Wow.
go. 103
Are
to
you
103.
kidding?
Yep.
Oh, come on, Indiana. You don't put them away with no Lillard? Damn.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. Well, it's game time.
Yep. Go Celtics. We'll be back on for the post game.